What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we are talking about Michael Penix Jr. and his incredible pro day that just went down. And I want to just talk about this guy as a prospect in general. I first fell in love with this dude when he played Texas. In the college football playoffs, if you go watch that game, he put on a clinic. Just stepping up in the pocket, moving around, throws on the slight move. He actually had ran for a first down too when everybody was talking about he doesn't really run. I think he even ran for a couple first downs actually. He had 3 carries, 31 yards. He's not a dude that wants to run. But what he just did at his pro day, he ran a 4.540, which is much quicker than anybody expected, but also faster than guys like Mahomes, faster than Josh Allen, faster than other dudes that are considered mobile quarterbacks. The thing about Michael Penix, and when I was watching him in Texas, then watched him in the championship game, he did flop in the championship game, unfortunately. But hey, he had high pressure against Texas, number 3 overall, and absolutely nailed it. 29 for 38, 76% completion percentage, 430 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Absolute put on a clinic. Then you go and watch other teams. It's like the arm talent screams off the screen, and then he showed that also at his pro day. He's a left-handed quarterback, but that thing freaking flies when he throws the football. I'm going to say this. As far as a talent, or in so many ways, he might be the best quarterback in this draft. Okay? He's a smart quarterback. He only took 11 sacks last year because he's not afraid to throw it away. His completion percentage of 65.4, I'm sure is so low. If you go look at it, I bet he had the most throwaways in college football by a country mile. This guy will avoid a sack at all costs. The most sacks he ever took in a game was only 2. Only had 11 sacks all year. His sack to pressure ratio that everybody's been talking about on quarterbacks is historically low. It's like 5% when everybody wants it to be like 13%. Like when it's like under 15, people are like, oh, this guy is so good with sack to pressure ratio. That's awesome. You know, it's not until it hits 20 that people start being concerned or being upset about it. 5%. Mid-single digit. Maybe it was 4, 5, 6. Something like that. Super low. But yes, he will get rid of that football smart, like a Tom Brady-esque, right? Where Tom Brady's big thing, especially later in the New England Patriots era, was, man, his completion percentage is down. Oh, it's because he's under pressure all game and he gets rid of the football before he takes a sack. Same thing with Michael Penix. The arm talent is super. Like, I remember people were telling me when I first, it's like, oh, his arm talent's not quite there. He just has good receivers, and that's why he's putting up such big numbers. Because, yeah, oh, by the way, he had 4,900 yards, 36 touchdowns last year. But you watch him, and it's like, oh, my God, this guy can sling it. He can put it 45, 50 yards on a rope, right, and throw it 65-plus yards. Showed that at his pro day, too. The footwork's great. Now, where he does struggle a bit is 11 interceptions. So his decision-making could be a little bit better at times, especially over the middle of the field. He'll get a little antsy at times. So he's not a perfect prospect, but none of these quarterbacks are, right? You know, you could still say Caleb Williams is the best. And if you wanted to, I said there's an argument for Penix, but Caleb Williams is a freak. So, but if you want to say it's the best that Washington has available at pick number 2, honestly, I think so. The one biggest concern this guy has is injuries, right? He has 2 ACL tears. He's got hurt in the championship game with a bad ankle and a shoulder. He's a guy that could potentially be made of glass, but I love this guy's tenacity to get back on the field, right? He's a super senior. I think he had 5 years because he played 3 years in Indiana, then went over 2 years of Washington. So maybe it was 4 years in Indiana. Older quarterback, but he's talked about it, how he like nearly had to quit football because the second ACL tear was so bad, but then he came back, fought, transferred to Washington. He went over with DeBoer. DeBoer was the offensive coordinator for Indiana. Then he went over to Washington following his offensive mind and put up massive numbers and played 2 healthy seasons after those ACL tears. And then came to the pro day and ran a 4.5 faster than anybody else expected. And then he had a 37-inch vert as well. Like, the guy is still a fantastic athlete. He used to run more when he was younger, but after the ACL tears, he started being a smarter quarterback, protecting his body, throwing it away, trying to avoid contact at all costs. And this guy is legit. As I said, I fell in love with this guy. I was arguing in the Discord. And then I went away from it because I was upset about the championship game. He did not play well in the championship game. He missed a wide open Odunze. He only had a 52% completion percentage. He had 2 interceptions. Michigan was one of the top defenses in the country, if not the top defense. So, between them and Georgia, like, Michigan's defense was phenomenal. And they put pressure on him all day. And I think that offensive line is a bit overrated too. Like, a lot of people want the right tackle over there, the Rosengarten guy. I think he was terrible. And I think the offensive line overall is overrated over there. And they got eaten up by that Michigan defensive line. And it put pressure on him. And he didn't handle it well. So I'm not sitting here saying that Michael Penix is a perfect prospect that you can't miss on, blah, blah, blah. There's just so much I like about this guy, and he has so much talent. I love his attitude. His leadership is top notch. He's a guy that I would love to build around. I really would. But the injuries are a big concern. Can we draft him at 2? I don't know, and we probably won't. With the other guys around there, with Jaden Daniels, with Drake May, and they're falling in love with JJ McCarthy. I don't know if they can actually pull this trigger, but Michael Penix out of those options is my favorite. He really is, and I know it's scary. There's risks always involved, especially with injuries, but I think this guy, he's a guy that if you get him in the building, I think he could be a phenomenal quarterback at the next level. So smart, so talented. But you guys let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to do some more mock draft reacts. I went to the Orioles game yesterday. That's why you didn't get any content yesterday. I had a couple of buddies in town, so spent time with them. But we're back again and getting this video out there. And Louis T just dropped a mock draft. I'm probably going to check that one out. We're gonna do a mock draft reacts to Louis T's draft, and we're going to go from there. But all right. Again, I'll see you next time. And until next time, see ya!